Conspiracy theories, eh? Wait till you get a load of this.
Hello, and welcome to Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. We're podcasting conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all of our spooky shit. My name's Jackie.
And I'm Cassandra.
And we are Said Sisters.
Hello again.
Hello again. Long time no see. That's what I was trying to say last time. When I said long time, farewell. I could not think of the expression long time no see.
And you know what? I didn't even think about that being remotely close to what you're
When I was editing, I went, fuck, that's what I meant. I put it in like in words so people could see it. But
did you ever think about what you were trying to write down earlier?
Yes, I did. I have a whole post-it.
I saw you scribbling things and I'm like, you didn't know what my topic was, so you're not crossing off notes from my topic.
Just kept popping into my brain.
Oh, okay.
About what I needed to cover.
Sure.
Speaking of which, let's go into one of them.
Okay.
I'm having a crisis.
Why? I mean, I think we're both kind of in a state of crisis right now.
As I mentioned in the last episode, Billy and Dre, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, were over a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And I don't know why it came up, but we were talking about my height. And I said, I'm 5'9". And Dre goes, well, I'm 5'8". Like, I thought we're the same height. I go, no, I think I'm taller than you. So they made us go back to back. And they're like, Dre is taller than you by like a fucking butt hair. So I'm like, oh, bitch, you're 5'9". And Alex is like, I've been telling you for years, you are not 5'9". I go,
and I've always thought you were taller.
I go, homeboy, I've been 5'9" since at least high school.
Okay.
At least fucking 10 years. And he's like, let's fucking test it. So him and Billy whipped out the fucking tape measure and they're like, you're 5'8".
No, you're not.
Really? And I went, that is such a fucking lie. And they're like, it's right here. You're this many fucking inches.
You're so much taller than
I know.
me. So either I'm 5 feet.
Well, they're like, maybe you're shrinking. I think I'm shrinking. Because apparently I'm barely 5'8". But I've been 5'9" for 15 years.
You've been like a solid 6 inches taller than me since you were a child.
So after this episode, you're going to measure me because I don't trust them.
Get the tape measurer out because now I'm concerned.
And then hopefully mom and dad didn't paint over the portion of their kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Because I'm like, I can prove to you I used to be at least 5'9".
Because we all have markings. I even think Evan has height markings in there.
He did, yeah. So hopefully they didn't paint it over when they remodeled. But
I would be really mad.
So
you
I'm
better have
gonna
at least taken a picture.
I know. So I'm in a crisis over my height.
Fair. Because that's a big part of your personality.
It is. I'm very tall for a woman.
Yes, and I am not. So like,
You're
there's
not.
been such a huge disparity.
And Alex is always like, you're not tall. I'm like, just because I'm not 6'8" doesn't mean I'm not fucking tall. I go, I was taller than 90% of the men on the department. I'm taller than everyone I ever fucking meet.
Like
I am tall.
You have been the tall, thin one, and I have been the short, stout one. Always.
And
always.
So that is rocking my world.
Okay.
Also, TikTok has gotten to me. TikTok being Instagram because I watch it on Instagram.
Oh, I'm like, do you have TikTok?
I don't. But because I keep seeing videos about mouth taping.
Yes, you mentioned something about that.
Like, oh, do you have no jawline? Is it because you sleep with your mouth wide fucking open? And I went, I do. And apparently, like, there was an interview with Whitney Cummings, the comedian.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, she goes, I have this fucking, like, you can cut your hand on her jawline. She goes, it's because I started doing mouth taping. She goes, there's science that if you sleep with your mouth open, it, like, retracts your chin. And I go, what? She go. That's it. So I'm doing an experiment.
Okay.
For the next 30 days, I've already started. So for a 30-day time frame, I'm doing mouth taping every night.
Okay.
And then I'm also doing gua sha in the shower, just a little bit. I don't really have a science to it. I know there's probably a better way for me to do it, but I'm like, between these two things, if I don't have a snatched jawline in 30 days, I'm going to rage.
Then you'll call bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I'm very curious because my husband has no fucking jawline. You would never know because he's got a nice
I'm also just chubby, but that's beside the point.
No,
I think it's also because I sleep. You can tell how far asleep I am, but how open my mouth is.
That's funny. And also, having any chub in your face just means that you're gonna look.
I know we're so youthful,
beautiful for so long. Like we are gonna look 30 for the rest of our life.
But I would like a profile.
That would be nice. I don't like. I feel like I look like a pug from the side. Like I feel like everything is so smashed.
Well, I have a bump in my nose and no jawline.
You have
so
Sula's
I
hump.
do. It's very.
I
off-putting.
don't, but I have nothing going
I know.
on.
Like if
from
I
this.
fucking push it, I might have a. Even then, I can't see anything.
But then my child, she's like, Mom, you just need to learn how to mew better. And it's mewing. That's what it is. And so that's like essentially sucking your tongue.
Oh, I've tried that to get rid of my little double chin, but
It
I
doesn't
can't
work.
figure it out.
But I feel like we're just plagued with this little bit right
now,
here.
the other day he goes, "You got a double chin?" I go, "I've had a double chin." He goes, "We can get rid of that." I go,
Don't fucking talk about the
I
chin.
go, just a beard doesn't mean I don't know you don't have a fucking double chin under there, bitch.
Like,
you're
even-
covered.
Even when I was at like my tightest, it still existed, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
Mine did not. When I was in the academy, I was only 100 and fucking
You were
30
a
pounds.
different beast then.
I lost so much weight so quickly, but like I had like a snatch jawline, and I've always been trying to go back there, even though it's not healthy weight for me. But
You were in so much stress.
I was so cold.
You were enduring so much.
I know I lost
trauma.
20 pounds in a week and a half.
That, which is not healthy.
But
like-
I wish I could recreate this.
Oh my God. I'm like, the only alternative is to go on a fucking like Ozempic or something.
I know. And like, God, I wish I had an eating disorder, but I can't commit. Like I have disordered thinking when it comes. I know. I know. Disordered thinking when it comes to eating just because I'm not happy with my weight.
Yes.
But I can't commit to an eating disorder, which really kills me.
You know what? It's not all it's cracked up to be. Let me tell you.
I know.
But if you are going to have an eating disorder, go for the one where you just don't eat.
That's what I try, and then I get so fucking hungry.
Because the whole other alternative,
I
that
know.
one sucks. Don't do that. But I'm like, ooh, should I bring up like I want to do this? And then my doctor's like, no, it's just because you don't have any hormones, and that's why your body sucks. So like, let's talk in a couple of months because you'll be a new person then.
There you go.
So, okay.
But yeah, so that's my crises. Also, I meant to do this a couple episodes ago. Thank you, Marissa. She's our new Patreon member.
Yes,
sorry,
thank
I
you,
forgot
Marissa.
about you.
We
A
did
couple episodes ago.
We mentioned it when we saw it, and we appreciate you.
I don't think we were recording when we did.
No, but between the two of us,
Yes,
we
that's
mentioned
true.
it when we saw it.
So welcome to the family.
Welcome and thank you. Not that you weren't like there before.
No,
You've been around since
You're not a random person.
This-
You're my friend.
start.
Anyway, do you have anything to bring to this conversation?
No.
Okay, so my topic today, as I mentioned, is the 2023 Hawaii fires in Maui.
Yes.
And you mentioned that you know some people that were
I
affected.
do. So, because I work in a business that has a lot of affluent clients, a lot of them have second homes in Maui and stuff. So, they had some concerns about whether their investment properties were going to burn down.
Sure.
First world problems, but like
Definitely.
also for the people that was there, that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Everything was fine, but yeah.
Had you heard any conspiracy theories around it? Oh, okay.
No, that's why I was a little surprised that was your topic, because beyond shit burning down, I didn't know anything else about
Oh, I had only heard about the conspiracy. I didn't even know what really happened. I'd only heard conspiracy theories about it.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Okay, so the fires began at approximately 6:34 a.m. on August 8th, 2023
Oh,
on the island of Maui and destroyed more than 2,200 structures and caused about 5.5 billion with a B dollars in damages.
a lot.
The most significantly impacted area was the historic district of Lahaina.
Oh. Continue your sentence.
Where more than 100 lives were lost.
Oh, okay.
Not funny, but I was laughing at your.
I know. And I'm like, that sucks that people died, because I'm like, oh, Moose McGillicuddy's.
They put that on Lahaina?
That was in Lahaina.
That's been gone for a while. Because Alex and I just went to Hawaii. Not just.
You
2
went
years
like
ago.
I have not been to Hawaii since we went as a family, and I racked up $1 bajillion in phone bills calling Derek and texting Derek, my Canadian boyfriend.
Cruise that we did.
No, that was the Hawaii trip.
Yeah. No, we went in 2022. That's
Oh.
why. So just before these. But we also didn't go to Maui yet.
So for either my 40th birthday or our 15-year anniversary, I want to go to Hawaii.
It was fun. It's super humid. Gross.
That's one of the main reasons I don't want to go.
And we went with a couple friend, which was fun. But we went with
Matt and Kelly?
No, Eris and Tori. You've never. I don't think you've met. Oh, you did at the wedding.
No, I have met them a couple of times.
Oh, have you?
Yes. I met them at your engagement party.
Oh, shit, that's right. Yeah. So they're super fun.
Yeah, they sent me like a good time.
And they travel. They have a lot of money. They travel a lot. So yeah, we went with them.
Because they're dinks, right? No kids?
Correct. And
Yeah.
he has a very
Lucrative
second job.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so they have a lot of money. So we actually went with them, but her and I planned every single outing.
Oh.
So we needed a vacation from our vacation at the end. We did too much, but I did get to go shark diving.
Yeah, that was
cage
like a
diving,
bucket list,
which I was very excited about. But yeah, it was super fun. It was just so humid. I couldn't do my face or my hair, so I just looked like a slob.
You know what? When you're on vacation, you just embrace that.
I know, but I wanted to take pictures. That was the only thing. But that's fine.
I know. And the planning every minute, we're planning to go to Japan next year. And I'm like, I don't want to plan every minute.
Yeah, you need to not.
So I'm making sure it's like every other day.
That's a good plan.
But I've never traveled anywhere, so we'll see how this goes.
To the fire.
Yep.
Okay, so although local officials considered it to have been contained by mid-morning on August 8th, the fire flared up during the mid-afternoon, forcing officials to close Lahaina's bypass road. Driven by the high winds, because there was a nearby like hurricane in a different area, but it was being affected and they were getting the winds from it. So driven by the high winds, the fire then moved downslope into the town, and it spread quickly between the grassy landscape and the town's predominantly wooden buildings, which are things fire loves.
Yeah.
Generating an immense wall of black smoke.
Oh, no.
Within only 15 minutes, the fire had spread to the center of town, burning the area between the town's two primary access roads.
Oh, shit.
Which prompted additional road closure that hindered evacuation.
Yeah, it's like what happens when your only method of escape is blocked off.
The process of alerting residents to the dangers, because they have these brand new state-of-the-art fucking sirens.
Okay.
That was hampered by the toppling of several telephone poles and electrical power poles in the area, which cut power. So therefore, they have this great system of alerting people, but they alerted no one.
Oh, no.
So as the fire grew, it became so intense that it melted pipes delivering water to Lahaina's residences. Which reduced the town's overall water pressure and thus inhibited the fire department's ability to contain the fire.
Oh, no, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Shit.
By 5:30 p.m., I don't like your mouth, large areas of Lahaina, which included tracts of residences and the town's central business district, were on fire as exploding gasoline tanks within vehicles and filling stations contributed to the flames.
Oh, no.
Since emergency services had no way of alerting people through their mobile devices because power poles went down, or through their very expensive new sound system that went down, the fire caught many residences by surprise, forcing some of them to flee hastily while trapping others inside of their home.
Oh my God.
Many of those who fled became boxed in by the fires because, as I mentioned, it's doing all of the roads surrounding them.
Yeah.
Smoke also made it very difficult for them to see if they were able to get outside of their home. So some sheltered in place while others sought refuge in the ocean. There were literally videos of people jumping into the ocean to get away from the flames.
Oh my God.
Then they were left clinging to the docks or the seawalls or any other infrastructure that wouldn't take them directly out to sea, but they were stuck in the literal ocean.
Yes.
By 7 p.m., the fire had reached the harbor. Boats then caught on fire from the mix of the wind and the flying embers coming off the flames,
right?
Which then caused their fuel tanks to explode. The U.S. Coast Guard was able to rescue some of the people who were trapped in the water or along the coastline, but not everybody. And then officials reported that the Lahaina fire had been 80% contained by August 10th, so 2 days later.
Okay.
And that it had burned nearly 2,200 acres by August 14th.
Wow.
Hawaii's Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke issued an emergency declaration during the mid-afternoon of that first day of August 8th, which then followed the activation of the Hawaii's National Guard.
Oh, okay.
Then they brought in FEMA because they're like, we are in a disaster state. Stuff's going down. We need all the help that we can get.
Okay.
This fire specifically was the 5th deadliest wildland fire in U.S. history.
Really?
And the worst natural disaster in Hawaii's history.
Okay. God, we're so fucking jaded living in California.
I know, we have fires every fucking...
Everything. Well, when I went to my doctor's appointment on Friday, I had to go to Malibu, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to get to my appointment because
there's that fire.
There was a fucking fire because Southern
forgot about that.
California in particular is always ablaze
Yeah,
this time
October
of
to
year.
January. It's always
That's fire season.
Yeah.
I have vivid memories of having to pack shit up at our house because you can see fucking flames.
That was like the 2000. I was in maybe 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah.
So 2005 or 6. Fire,
But
yeah.
so like I was going through Malibu Canyon. It finally opened, but I felt like I was in Hawaii. Do you remember when we went and it looked like we landed on fucking
On the
Mars?
Mars. Yeah.
It was just black charred remnants everywhere, and it was still so smoky out in the air, and you can smell it like even through the car.
Yeah.
It was so upsetting, and like even Pepperdine, like part of the campus burned.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was so intense looking, but I'm like, it's just another day.
I know, we're very desensitized
It's
to it.
so fucked up. But anyway.
So the official cause and or contributing factors of this fire.
Mm-hmm.
So around the times that the fires occurred, 20% of the country of Maui was experiencing moderate drought.
Did you say country?
Of the county?
Perfect.
I'm like, wait, it's not a country.
There in the U.S.
Of the county
Okay.
was experiencing a moderate drought, level 1 of 4, so pretty low. In California, we've had much higher.
Sure.
And 16% of the county was under severe drought conditions.
Okay. So it's hot and dry.
Before an official cause was ever known publicly, the general consensus was that it had something to do with the dry conditions and that basically it was, you know, Hawaii's version of fire season.
It's either that or someone threw a fucking cigarette butt out the
yes,
window.
which has
Like,
started many California fires.
yes.
The power company Hawaiian Electric is facing 2 lawsuits currently,
Oh.
alleging that its down power lines started the blaze. A press release dated October 2nd of 2024, so this year, from both the Maui Police Department and the ATF stated that the fire had one single origin and happened in 2 different proceedings. One was in the morning and one was in the afternoon. Because as I mentioned, it kind of started in the morning, it
And then,
died
like,
down,
came back
and
up.
then it kind of vamped up in the afternoon.
Okay.
They explained that, quote, the fire originated off Lahaina Road in the unmaintained vegetation near utility pole 25 as a result of molten metallic materials, aka sparks, ejected from a re-energized broken power lines above, end quote.
So what does that mean?
So basically they're saying there was a power line that was down that was supposed to have the electricity shut off to it,
And it
but it
wasn't?
re-energized somehow, causing a spark to go into the brush, which was
Oh,
dry
okay.
because they're in a drought, which then
Sure.
caused this massive fucking fire.
Oh, okay.
Which is why the Maui Electrical Company is in a lawsuit. Because
I'm
they
like-
said you were supposed to turn off power to that down power line and you didn't.
Yeah, who got fired because of
Exactly.
this?
The Maui Fire Department Chief, Brad Ventura, said, quote, in sum, the origin and cause of the Lahaina fire is clear. The re-energization of a broken power line caused sparks that ignited unmaintained vegetation in the area, end quote. Ultimately, the fire was classified as accidental
Mhm.
instead of an incendiary, natural, or undetermined.
Anytime any government body declares without like
A shadow of a doubt.
yes, that something is the cause
Yeah.
for X, Y, and Z, I immediately don't believe it.
I agree with you. Okay, so there was a couple overarching themes when it comes to looking back at these fires, and one main theme was that all blue objects seemed to be safe in the fire.
Like the color blue?
The color blue. So while people were looking over video footage and photos taken from the aftermath of the fire, they started to see a common theme.
Okay.
And this theme was that most items that were the physical color blue were completely unharmed, untouched by the fires, while everything around them was completely charred.
Does that count for blue-eyed people?
No,
Asking for a friend.
not that I read.
Okay.
So in these pictures and videos, there was blue vehicles, blue beach umbrellas, blue t-shirts found like within the rubble of like burnt houses, but like perfectly intact blue t-shirts.
It's fucking
There
weird.
was blue roofs on housing. So those houses were not touched, but the houses surrounding them are completely burned to a crisp.
We in Whoville? Why are there
And then all of the volunteers, or at least most of them that were photographed helping the aftermath, are all wearing blue t-shirts.
So why is blue the predominant color?
That's a great question. The general consensus is, based on everything that's blue being untouched,
Okay.
that the fires were intentionally caused by the government using DEWs. Have you ever heard of a DEW?
How do you spell it?
It's an acronym, DEW.
No, I don't.
So
know.
it stands for Direct Energy Weapon.
Oh, okay.
which is basically this giant laser.
Is it like a pulse or
It's like a laser beam
Oh.
or a microwave laser.
Why are they trying to burn down fucking Maui?
We talked about that. So a dew, as I mentioned, is a ranged weapon that damages its targets with highly focused energy without a solid projectile. So it's not a bullet. It's just an energy of light being
So
controlled.
it's like a magnifying glass on ants?
Yes.
But, okay.
Yes, but it's man-made.
And bigger.
Yes. Potential applications of this technology include weapons that target personnel, missiles, vehicles, or optical devices.
Okay.
So conspiracy theorists drew this correlation between these types of lasers and the color blue because
Yeah, I'm like, what?
there are videos all over TikTok of people having like a rainbow strip of color. So all of the colors in the rainbow.
Sure.
And they have a laser and it cuts through all of the strip. And when they hold it up, all of them have been cut through except the blue. So people are like, that's proof that this is a dew laser, that they intentionally did it.
Interesting.
So how it's supposed to work is these dew lasers are blue in color, like their physical laser color is blue. And therefore blue light is supposed to cancel out blue light. So therefore that's why
That's like unharmed.
it's unharmed. There are also a way to program these dews, and dews are real things.
Oh.
They actually exist in this world, but you can program them to either attack
or
certain colors or ignore certain colors.
Interesting.
So if you wanted to cause the mass amount of destruction, you would just you wouldn't limit it to anything. It would attack every single color. Otherwise, you can say, I want you to destroy everything except this shade of blue.
So everyone who, is blue or red or I can see that being used for nefarious political reasons.
Oh shit, I didn't even think of that. Okay. As I mentioned, dew technology was created in the 1960s.
Oh, okay.
And developed into possible weapon system in the 1970s and 80s. Dews can be used discreetly since radiation does not generate sound, and it is invisible outside of the visible spectrum. So it could happen right in front of you and you have no idea. You would just see something burst into flames.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So in theory, the government could have programmed these dews to attack everything in Maui and Lahaina that wasn't the color blue, and they would keep blue safe, and everything around it would be damaged. They would just need to come up with a cover story in order to explain how the fire started in the first place. So in this case, they might say that it was a faulty power line that re-energized, a spark flew, went into the dried brush, and started a brush fire.
I mean, to be fair, other shit has happened, so it's not completely out of bounds.
Yes.
But
just FYI, there were pictures circulating in the news that showed a literal laser like coming from the sky in Maui. They were very quickly debunked. The photographer said, these are my pictures. These are originals. This is obviously Photoshop. There were no lasers.
Okay.
And then fun fact, FEMA has a program called Project Blue Roof.
Weird.
So people are like, what the fuck? So what that is, it's a free program managed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers on behalf of FEMA that helps homeowners recover from natural disasters.
Oh.
The program installs a temporary industrial strength fiber reinforced plastic sheeting over any damaged roofs. And they got the name of the program because the sheeting that they use happens to be blue.
Is that Hawaii specific or just
no,
like
FEMA? It's FEMA.
Interesting.
So people are like, that's fucking weird. You got a natural disaster. You got these blue roofs. You got FEMA that came in because they were called in early. And then you got this blue project.
I mean, that's a lot
of correlation.
Yeah.
That's nice to know, but why would blue things be unaffected? You might be asking yourself, why not just make everything
why
affected?
Blue specifically?
What if I told you that there are many A-list celebrities that have property and or housing on Hawaii, in Maui, etc.?
Did they burn?
No.
Then I'm not surprised because, God damn it, everyone in a position of power, regardless of how little it is going to be protected in some way, shape, or form.
So there was an article that came out after the fires showing pictures of all of these different celebrities and their houses, and their roofs were all painted the same color blue.
Do you have a list of?
I do. So some of the popular celebrities include Oprah,
Fuck her.
Clint Eastwood,
love him.
Woody Harrelson,
okay,
I love him. Jeff Bezos.
Fuck that guy. Blue Origin is also his fucking space program thing.
I didn't know that. Blue.
Okay.
Owen Wilson.
Okay, I like him.
And Steven Tyler of Aerosmith.
He fucked around with young ladies. I don't like him so much.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of people are like, cool. That's why they intentionally, they being the government, they put up these dew lasers. They said, I want to destroy Hawaii for a reason or two that we'll get into in a minute. And I want all blue things to be safe because all of these A-list celebrities have blue roofs that I want to protect.
To be fair, out of that list, Oprah and Bezos are the only ones who have any weight to
That is true.
pull. I like Clint Eastwood and I like, Woody Harrelson and the other ones, but they would not be protecting Steven Tyler.
So what if I told you that the article that came out was also debunked and that the only person with the blue roof was Oprah?
I would still believe that because fuck Oprah.
So Oprah had a very light blue roof. She owns 1,000 acres on Maui.
That's one of many, 1,000 at least properties that she owns in this world.
And
I'm sure.
so most of it is land. She has 2 houses. She has a main house and a guest house. The main house has a very light blue roof. The guest house is red because no one cares about guests, apparently. And then technically, I looked up photos of like aerial views of all of these celebrities' houses.
Yeah.
In the aerial photos, Jeff Bezos had a blue umbrella that was technically visible. And Owen Wilson has a shit ton of solar panels, which happen to be blue. So I'm like, if you really wanted to stretch it, 3 out of the 6, I guess, have blue. It's all supposed to be like a uniform shade of blue. And the article that was released was Photoshopped to show all of it being one uniform shade, which is not real.
Got it.
Okay, so the blue theory kind of is a bit of a stretch, in my opinion.
Sorry.
What do you think they're saying in that song? Because there is a conspiracy theory about
So
what
it's
they're
either
saying.
I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die, or I'm blue, if I were green, I would die.
Yes, I think it's dabba dee babba da.
I think it's dabba dee
I
babba
think it's
dee.
no physical words.
Or
Okay.
if it's the BB Rexa version, I'm blue. No, wait, I don't remember how it goes, but she's having the time of her life in the song.
Oh, yes, I know what.
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm feeling all right.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I'm
Anywho.
gonna have the best time of my life. Okay.
Right.
So anyway, I think the blue theory in particular is kind of a stretch. I don't think there's a good enough reason, like you mentioned. I don't think Oprah and all of these kind of B-list celebrities
doesn't do
really
it.
qualify the government
No.
sparing them.
No.
So moving on to what caused it, the reason is why. Why do people believe that the government was the one that intentionally started these fires? And there's 2 reasons.
Okay. Yeah, what do they have to gain?
So reason number 1 is smart cities. So almost immediately after the fire, conspiracy theorists were spreading a big and very popular conspiracy theory that the fires were started intentionally in hopes of burning the city to the ground in order to rebuild and create a smart city.
I mean, that's one way to do it without having to get like voter approval and do all of that.
You have
shit.
no choice, so you have to rebuild, so you might as well try something new.
That's stupid though.
So what is a smart city, you may ask?
Yeah, is it like when I hear smart city, I don't know why, but I envision a Wall-E universe where like everything is just kind of controlled.
Okay.
But it's smart in that the government has set up all of these lovely things that works for you.
Yeah, you're kind of on the right track. So a smart city is a city that uses technology and data to improve the quality of life for its residents.
According to the government.
Yes. Smart cities use technology to optimize infrastructure, improve sustainability, create economic development, and improve transportation. So it's basically, it's not smart as in you have a smart home where everything is controlled by an app. It's smart as in you're getting constant feedback and data about certain things.
Functional
to optimize the lives of everybody.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily smart. I think that's just like informed city.
I think so.
I think smart city is a little misleading, but
that's one of the things I'm excited to go to Japan about because I think developmentally they're like so far ahead compared to us.
There is no universal definition of a smart city, but the concept generally refers to cities that use technology to collect information to help them run more efficiently.
Okay.
Such as improving traffic flow, tracking gunshots to help fight crime.
Oh, interesting.
All of this type of stuff. And there are some implementations of quote unquote smart cities.
Okay.
China has a shit ton. So you just mentioned Japan. They have a bunch that technically are considered smart cities.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I'm super excited to do is ride a bullet train because I know that that is a fantastic movie. But like, hyperspeed transportation is something that the US has not implemented.
I thought there was supposed to be a bullet train from California to Vegas.
There was supposed to be, and that has taken 5 shits and died.
Oh,
and like
okay.
transportation like that is not probably going to happen anytime soon. I just don't see that developing. And like local public transportation in Southern California, period, is not that super evolved. Even in like the city, the dense LA area, you have the metro system, like the red line and then this and that. But even then, it's not that like sophisticated.
No, I agree.
And so being able to fucking go from one end of a country to the other in just a matter of hours, and other countries are able to accomplish that. I'm so excited to check it out.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear about it. The big reason why people think that the fires were intentionally started for this specific purpose, being smart cities, was because in January of 2023, so 7 months before the fire, Maui was going to be hosting its annual Hawaii International Conference on System Sciences. It happens every single year.
Okay.
And it has been held annually on the island since 1968, so it's not a new thing.
No.
And scholars from more than 60 countries meet there to exchange ideas on a wide variety of topics about information on technological
advancements and shit. Yeah, okay.
There's always a data collection prior to these scheduled events, just so people can know what to expect. You don't get like necessarily approval, but people like to know ahead of time what they're going to be talking about. And there were 4 papers and an introduction about smart cities published in connection with this specific event.
I mean, that seems like a lot.
But none were specifically talking about turning Maui or any part of Hawaii into a smart city.
Just
they
more
were
like
just broad topics.
Okay.
So people are like, that's a little suspicious. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. There was also proposed ideas of 15-minute cities, which is an urban planning concept where all amenities would be available within a 15-minute walk or bike ride for all citizens. So that's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, I am a fan of walkable areas because I don't travel very often, but a couple of the places that I've been to, if it's not walkable, like it's a fucking pain in the ass. I don't want to go anywhere if I have to get a fucking car.
Exactly.
Especially if I'm visiting and I'm not home and I didn't drive.
That's what the concept of these 15 minutes is trying to eliminate.
Yeah.
But basically, so that's like 2 brand new city thoughts that are being brought to this one specific convention that happened to be held in Maui.
Okay, but like to burn down a whole city in order to rebuild with that in mind seems a bit extreme.
Okay.
That's all I have. So.
Lastly, there was a digital governmental summit scheduled on your birthday, September 25th, in 2023 in Honolulu. So the main topic for this summit, and this is only a couple weeks later after the fire. So the main topic of this summit was to bring, quote, together technology-focused public sector professionals with leading industry partners to connect on innovative approaches, get inspired, and discover new technologies, end quote. So what that means is basically they wanted to talk about having artificial intelligence govern a state. A whole entire state, they want AI to run it.
Seems like potentially problematic.
And again, this summit was not Hawaii specific. This topic was not Hawaii specific. Like, it just happened to be hosted in Hawaii, which is a normal thing that they host all these types of topics. But people are like, this was really close. It's less than a month from these fires.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like it had some sort of ulterior motive. So that is reason number 1 why people think the fires were started by the government. Okay. What do you think of that?
That just feels like an aggressive tactic to me. I don't know.
Great. I don't personally necessarily believe in that reasoning.
Yeah.
But maybe reason number 2 will bring it for you.
Okay.
So reason number 2 states that the fires were caused intentionally, again, by the government and Hawaiian higher-ups, but the intention was not to create a smart city. It was a strategic effort to weed out the less wealthy residents and make room for multi-million-dollar development, aka a land grab.
That sounds right.
Yes.
That sounds right.
Without ever hearing anything.
I know. I'm like, sold. That's the reason.
So as I mentioned, a big handful of celebrities have been buying up properties on Maui's and buying their houses in Hawaii in general. And locals have always kind of struggled with how expensive it is. They don't necessarily like tourists, but they require tourists in order to kind of help them live.
Yeah, because their entire method of income is fucking hospitality and tourism and all of that.
But they've always kind of notably been a little bitter about it.
Understandably so, because you're relying on fucking foreigners
coming
to your house that you have to put on a show for.
And they're very... this is my culture. This is how I grew
Yeah.
up. They are very, not religious, but like Hawaii religious.
They're very culturally ingrained.
Yeah.
And people who come to visit are so insensitive.
Yeah,
and
they're
do
rude as shit.
not
Yeah.
respect anything about the place that they're visiting.
Yes. I found a report that said that there were concerns that the residents of Lahaina specifically, and particularly Native Hawaiians and longtime local owners,
Sure.
that they were facing pressure to sell properties due to rapid gentrification in the area before the wildfires,
Okay.
which could be interpreted as a form of bullying them into selling their land.
Yeah.
However, there is no definitive evidence, technically, of widespread direct coercion tactics used against them. But it was very popularly known that people are constantly trying to get them to sell their land,
Yes.
sell their property, because they want to make the area, quote unquote, better
Yes.
and
Because-
higher end.
And yeah, you're viewing it as essentially a slum. Like,
Yes.
I want to buy your shitty low ass property
Mhm.
that I'm going to revamp and market and appeal to those who have more money than you
Exactly.
to make it a nicer area.
But these homes are people's, like you said, culture. They don't, this is the generations of their family. They don't want to
Yes.
give it up. They want us to leave, and they want Hawaii to be the way it is and preserve exactly how it is.
Yeah, they are so culturally connected
Yes.
and historically and like the family lineage,
Mhm.
like all of that is so
Yeah.
important to them. Like multi-generational households is a big thing, and everything is about either compound living where families are living together, or you want to leave that legacy where shit stays in the family for a super long time. Like, they
Mhm.
don't want people coming in and ruining their livelihood,
Agreed.
which I completely understand.
On January 24th, 2024, so 5 months after the fires, Hawaii introduced House Bill number 2693. This bill was deferred until Alex's birthday on February 6th, 2024. So this bill is about historic and cultural preservation in areas affected by disasters,
Oh, okay.
which sounds interesting considering they just went through a giant natural disaster.
Yeah.
But this bill creates a new group called Cultural Corridor Authority.
Okay.
Their job is to come up with plans to rebuild areas hit by disasters while keeping their historic and cultural value,
Oh,
which sounds nice.
yeah.
It offers tax breaks to people who give up their property voluntarily in disaster affected areas,
Okay.
which starts to sound a little concerning.
I'm like, I feel like people are going to be set up to be taken advantage of.
A little bit. And then lastly, the part of this bill that is the most concerning is eminent domain is enacted, which states that the attorney general can take over private property in these areas
Yes.
if needed for redevelopment and preservation.
Mm-hmm.
So Lahaina residents reported to the news that in the midst of the disaster, real estate investors were calling up victims or family members of victims saying, hey, I know you just lost your home, everything in your life. You probably lost loved ones in the fires,
Yeah.
but we want to buy your property and we want to buy your land. You should sell to us because you're so sad. This is a burden. Just let us take this off your hands.
Yeah. Taking advantage of the bad situation.
100%.
Ugh.
The governor of Hawaii, named Josh Green, told news reporters.
I don't know why that doesn't sound like the name of the governor of Hawaii.
Yes. So he told, we'll get into that in a minute. He told
Okay.
news reporters that the state of Hawaii plans to acquire the land. And he said, quote, I'm already thinking about the ways for the state to acquire the land so that we can put it into workforce housing, to put back into the families, or to make it open spaces and perpetuity
Oh, yeah.
as a memorial for people who were lost.
You
End
said
quote.
workforce housing, and I just think fucking slum cities.
Exactly. This is kind of a theory that I can get behind. Prior to the fires, the poverty rate in Hawaii was about 14%,
Okay.
while after the fires, it's been raised to 29%.
That's a huge jump.
They have a governor who is a white dude from New York,
Which makes no
which
sense.
makes
to
no
me.
sense. He is not a Hawaiian native. He does not have family in Hawaii. He's not born and raised in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's like, so why him?
So he would be considered very successful if he was able to, quote unquote, fix up Hawaii and make it more profitable, more of a tourist destination, more high end.
So fuck all of the people and the history that
Mhm.
exists there. I want to make money. This is why fucking people get shot in the middle of the street in broad daylight.
Exactly. So if he's able to take a beautiful area such as Hawaii or one of the islands and, quote, make it better, end quote, by buying or taking the property from its original owners and then selling it to wealthy ass celebrities or other wealthy people, he would therefore be able to bring in a lot of money and a lot of all this type of attention, and he would be considered doing a good job to anyone that isn't a Hawaii native.
I don't like him.
So anyway,
Yes.
Native Hawaiians, as we mentioned, are all about their culture, their property, their historical value to it. And there's no way that they were all
They hate
just
their
going
governor,
to
right?
agree. Yes. So there's no way they were all going to agree to sell.
No.
So luckily, they, being the government, had to come up with a plan B and force these people either out of their home or to sell their property or to give it up without their consent.
Unwillingly, yes.
So what a better way to do so than cause a gigantic natural disaster such as a fire, turn the area into a state of emergency, therefore enacting this new bill, allowing them to seize land as they see fit, and then basically take everything in the name of preservation.
No.
Those are like the two main reasons. Obviously, I think we're in agreement that the last reason sounds
makes
very plausible.
total
Very
sense.
plausible. Exactly.
Yes.
In a CNN article that I read, a research manager from Stanford University named Renee DeRista made a good point.
Okay.
She said that it's not uncommon for conspiracy theories to make rounds after a national crisis. People often look for a way to make sense of the world when they're anxious and have a feeling of being powerless.
That's true. You want to know the why behind something.
Exactly. So a lot of times people come up with these conspiracies. There isn't necessarily a why. It's just an accident or something that an act of God, something that happened.
Some things are true.
But even though this is a conspiracy podcast, I do tend to believe that there was something a little bit nefarious going on.
Usually.
As you mentioned, they came up with a definitive answer that it was a faulty power line.
Right
They have
away.
a bad guy. It's kind of very convenient for them to have this.
I am of the mindset where I don't believe anyone ever because everyone lies about everything all the time.
I know.
And I just don't trust people, especially those with more money than I know what to do with. So
Exactly. So that is the conspiracy theory surrounding the Maui fires.
I did not for a second think that anything other than some fucking natural disaster happened because, again, this is something that we experience normally. So, like, why wouldn't somewhere else?
This also
experience it?
did not get a lot of national media
It
coverage,
really
which is
didn't.
surprising because Hawaii is not known. It's not California. It's not like they have fires every single year.
No.
So people were pissed and they're like, why isn't this giving the coverage that it should be getting?
Yeah.
Because it's uncommon for this area. And that also led into more conspiracy
Yeah,
theories.
it's not like a volcano erupted.
Exactly.
That wouldn't get as much
Yeah.
news. I wouldn't be shocked at all if there was some other involvement. And knowing what we know from previous, experiences in our podcast, I think something bad is
Right?
happening.
I know. I'm always one to agree that the government did something shitty and they're just trying to cover their track.
Right. But I feel like we're living it like every day, all the time with everything that happens. If it's not fucking the Luigi dude, or it's the drones, or it's the aliens coming out of the sea, or it's the this or the that. There's always something. It's a distraction to cover up all of the bad shit that they're doing. Anywho.
But yeah. Do you know where you're going to come
No.
next time?
Are you kidding me? I came up with my idea yesterday.
I guess will be a surprise.
It will be a surprise. I got to get through Christmas and New Year's.
There you go.
And then
oh yeah, Happy New Year. I think
Happy New Year too, whenever this comes out. 2025 is the year. I'm going to finish all of my schoolwork by the end.
Oh, okay. By the end of 2025?
Yes.
Okay, so a whole year. Okay.
A whole year. And then I have one more test to take in 2026. I know, but then I'm done. Okay. And then I'm done. It's a big career goal for me. And then Gracie starts a new football team. But I'll figure it out. And I'm on like the HOA. And I don't know why
that's true.
I'm doing so many things. That's why I'm a fucking neurotic mess. But you know what?
But you're on Prozac
I'm
now.
like drugs. I'm like, and it'll all work out. I'll figure it out. And I will figure out what my topic is before then. But in the meantime, I would encourage you to write in and provide us with additional topics. We have all of the social media platforms. Instagram is preferred, but you can find us literally anywhere. But yeah, with that, I'm going to say stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.